Mountain View, California, the Google campus, a Tuesday in the spring of 2015.
A 43-year-old Indian engineer named Sundar walks into a board meeting.
Sundar was born in Madurai, a temple city in the deep south of India. Raised in Chennai, 2 rooms, no telephone until he was 12.
He cleared the JEE, India's brutal engineering entrance exam. He landed at IIT Kharagpur, one of the country's elite engineering schools. A scholarship to Stanford, a job at Applied Materials, then Google, then more Google, then the corner office.
That Tuesday, the board confirms it. Sundar Pichai is the new CEO of Google.
At roughly the same hour, in a town nobody has heard of, in eastern Madhya Pradesh, India, a boy named Rakesh is sitting his class 10th board exam, India's version of high school finals.
Rakesh is also smart. Rakesh's English is also fine. Rakesh's parents also pushed hard.
Rakesh will not become the CEO of Google.
Rakesh will probably become a clerk in a state electricity board in Bhopal, the state capital. He will earn the equivalent of about $3,600 a year. He will spend his life waiting for a promotion that may never come. We will let you Google Mr. Pichai's comp for comparison.
Same country, same exam system.
Same Mahabharat, different door.
For our non-Indian folks, the Mahabharat is the foundational Hindu epic. Think of it as the Iliad with way more relatives. It enshrines the Bhagavad Gita. I'm Harsh.
And I'm Vaishali, and this is the Victory Code Podcast. And today we are going to talk about something genuinely awkward.
Indian Americans are the highest earning ethnic group in America. Median household income, $151,000. Higher than every other ethnic group in the United States, including the white Americans who run the country. And the data says almost none of that is because they are smarter.
Don't shoot us. We did the homework, and the homework is brutal.
The headline numbers are wild.
Indian Americans, 4.8 million people, roughly 1.4% of the United States.
Median household income, $151,000 a year. National median, $83,000.
Indian Americans out-earn the national average by nearly 80%.
They out-earn the second richest ethnic group, Taiwanese Americans, by 13%. They out-earn Chinese Americans, the largest Asian group, by nearly double.
77% of Indian Americans hold a bachelor's degree or higher. The national average is 33%. 45% hold a graduate or professional degree.
6% of Indian Americans live in poverty. The national poverty rate is 13.
And Indian Americans pay roughly 6% of all American federal income taxes, while being 1.5% of the country.
This is the most successful ethnic group by income in American history.
And every Indian American listening to this episode probably has the explanation in their head. They work harder, they value education more, their parents pushed them, the discipline, the vegetarian diet, the Sai Baba photo on the wall.
Quick footnote for our American listeners. Sai Baba is a Hindu spiritual figure whose photograph hangs in millions of Indian living rooms. Cultural equivalent of a picture of Jesus.
None of those explanations is wrong. All of it is real, but none of it is the main reason.
The best framework for what actually has happened comes from a Johns Hopkins economist named Devesh Kapur. He wrote the book on this, literally. It is called The Other 1%. He calls it triple selection.
First selection happens in India itself. The people in India who get to higher education are a tiny slice of 1.5 billion people.
Most are from upper castes. Most are from urban families. Most have parents who themselves got educated. A child born to a Brahmin engineer in Pune has a different starting probability than a child born to a Dalit farmer in Bihar. Before anyone does anything, the selection has already happened.
Second selection, the exam funnel. JEE for engineers, NEET for medicine, CAT for business schools. These exams admit 1 in 50, sometimes 1 in 100.
The kids who clear them are the top of an already top sliver. Many spend 2 years in Kota, a town in Rajasthan in Western India that exists almost entirely to coach teenagers for these exams.
About 150,000 16-year-olds living in hostels, studying for 14 hours a day. Their parents took loans to pay for it. It's a $500 million industry by itself.
Third selection, the American visa system.
After 1965, the United States rewrote its immigration law to favor exactly the engineers and the doctors that India's exam system produces.
H-1B, student visa, employment-based green card. The American filter was designed to catch the output of the Indian filter.
By Kapur's estimate, the Indian American population is 9 times more educated than the average person back in India.
9 times. The Indians in America are not a random sample of Indians. They are the most selected slice of the most selected slice.
Kapur has a line we cannot get out of our heads.
He says these guys did not climb a ladder. They stepped into an elevator.
And that elevator started running in 1835 when Lord Macaulay, a British colonial bureaucrat, made English the language of Indian education. It picked up speed in 1947 when India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru founded the Indian Institute of Technology after independence. It accelerated in 1965 when President Lyndon Johnson signed the Hart-Celler Act and reopened America to Asian immigration.
By the time you got on, the elevator was already at the 40th floor.
You pressed the button.
But somebody else built the building.
Quick zoom into Hart-Celler because it is where the modern story begins.
Before 1965, the Indian visa quota into the United States was 100 a year.
100, the size of one wedding guest list in Punjab.
There were 12,000 Indians in the entire country.
Hart-Celler replaced the old country of origin quotas with two preferences: family reunification, which was 74% of visas, and skilled professional, which got the rest.
The American politicians who passed this bill did not think it would change the ethnic mix of the country. Senator Ted Kennedy said so on the floor of the Senate. They thought Italian and Polish Catholics would come.
The Italians did not come. Within 10 years, 70,000 Asian doctors had arrived. Filipino nurses, Korean small business owners, Chinese engineers, and Indian everything.
12,000 people to nearly 5 million in 60 years.
The Indian American community exists because of one piece of American legislation written by people who did not know what they were doing.
That is not a complaint, that is a fact. The Indian American story is the most successful unintended consequence in American legislative history. The elevator was not one elevator, it was a whole bank of them.
Pipeline 1, doctors.
62,000 Indian-born physicians practice in the United States right now, more than from any other country in the world.
1 in 5 immigrant doctors in America is Indian. They staff the rural hospitals in Mississippi and Oklahoma and West Virginia that no native-born American doctor will move to.
Pipeline 2, engineers. H-1B engineers.
Indian nationals received 71% of all H-1B visas issued in fiscal year 2024. 283,000 approvals from one country in 1 year.
China was the distant second at 12%.
60% of the top American AI startups have an immigrant founder. 70% of those founders came on a student visa first. A huge share are Indian.
Pipeline 3, the Patels.
For our non-Indian audience, Patel is a common surname tied to a land-owning subcaste from the western Indian state of Gujarat.
Between 60 and 70% of all motels in America are owned by Indian Americans, almost all Gujarati, a very large share named Patel.
It started in 1942. A man named Kanji Manchu Desai took over a hotel in Sacramento. The previous owner, a Japanese-American family, was being sent to an internment camp.
After 1965, Kanji called his relatives. They called their relatives. They bought distressed motels nobody wanted. They lived on site to save labor. They lent each other money outside the banking system.
60 years later, the Asian American Hotel Owners Association controls 33,000 properties, the largest ethnically concentrated business sector in American history.
3 different elevators, none randomly arrived.
Now the part nobody on Indian American Instagram posts about.
India paid for this, and the bill is enormous.
The Indian government spends between 10 and 15 lakh rupees per IIT students for over 4 years. That is roughly 12 to 18,000 US dollars, heavily subsidized by the Indian taxpayers.
Imagine the US federal government covered 80% of an MIT degree, then MIT graduated the engineer. Then the engineer moved to Shanghai and worked there for the next 40 years.
Between 30 and 36% of all IIT graduates emigrate.
62% of the top 100 JEE rankers, the absolute best of the best, they settle in the United States or Europe.
The OECD has the global number. India sends 3.12 million highly educated migrants worldwide. That is 65% of the global total of high-skilled immigrants from anywhere.
India is the single largest exporter of educated humans on the planet. nobody else is even close.
A startup founded back in India named Divakaran has a phrase for what is happening. He calls it cognitive asset laundering.
India trains the human, America cashes the check.
The conservative estimate is that the United States receives roughly $5 to $10 billion a year in free subsidy from Indian taxpayers in the form of fully educated 22 years old who then pay American taxes for the next 40 years.
Every Indian engineer in Sunnyvale is the result of a teacher in Hyderabad who earned a tenth of his salary.
Every Indian cardiologist in suburban New Jersey is a hospital in Bihar, still short a doctor.
This is not a moral judgment. This is a transfer from a poor country to a rich one.
The success is real. The bill is also real. Somebody paid the bill, and it was not the people who got rich.
Now, 3 findings about the Indian American community itself.
The data does not care about anyone's feelings, including ours.
Finding 1. The marriage statistic.
94% of Indian immigrants with children are in their first intact marriage. The American average is closer to 60.
After you control for income, age, and education, Indian immigrants are still more than twice as likely to be in stable marriages as native-born Americans.
2 graduate degrees, 2 earners, 1 stable marriage. That math is doing more income work than the IQ.
Finding 2. The English advantage.
India has roughly 125 million English speakers. The middle class, where most US-bound Indians come from, learned English from age 4, direct downstream of Macaulay's 1835 policy. The British bureaucracy is gone, the English remained.
When the Indian engineer lands in San Francisco, he writes a technical spec on day 1, he sits in a board meeting on day 2, and he negotiates his own salary on day 3.
The Chinese engineer, the Korean engineer, the Mexican engineer, all of them need years to clear the language barrier. The Indian engineer arrives already sounding like a competent American professional.
Finding 3. The caste angle.
Most US Indians come from upper or dominant castes.
For American listeners, India's caste system is a 4,000-year-old social hierarchy, officially illegal since 1950, functionally still operating.
Dalits, the historically oppressed lower caste community, did not get on the elevator. Neither did most of what the Indian government calls other backward classes or OBC.
And the caste system has replicated in the diaspora.
American campuses from California State to Brandeis to Harvard to UC Davis to Colby College in Maine have added caste as protected category in the last 5 years because Dalit students kept reporting that their Indian classmates were treating them the way their grandparents were treated in the village.
That is not a happy line. We promised the data would not care about feelings.
Now the part that complicates the success story itself.
The model minority headline hides serious variance.
630,000 undocumented Indians live in the United States. Most arrived on a tourist or student visa and stayed past it.
That is roughly 12% of the total Indian American population.
They are not earning $151,000. They are washing dishes in New Jersey, driving for Uber in Houston, working construction in Texas.
The Indian American median income masks them.
Now zoom out to other South and Southeast Asians. Bangladeshi Americans have a 19% poverty rate. Burmese Americans 25%. Hmong Americans, the Lao Mountain community displaced by the Vietnam War, 17%.
For Indian Americans, the poverty rate is roughly 6%. That's against a national poverty rate of 13% and an overall Asian American rate of 10%. Indian Americans are the least poor of any major ethnic group in the country.
The Asian American umbrella obscures the fact that selection effects vary wildly by sending countries. Indians win the income race because India sends the most educated migrants. Bangladesh and Burma send poorer, often refugee populations.
Same continent, different filters at American border, different outcomes by an order of magnitude. And one last variance number, the one that should concern every Indian American parent listening to this.
Median household income for immigrant-headed Indian American households, the one where mom and dad were born in India, is $156,000.
Median household income for native-born Indian American households, the ones where mom and dad were born in the US, is $120,000.
A $36,000 drop in one generation.
Regression to the mean is already happening. The Indian American income premium may be a one-generation phenomenon.
It was For Italian Americans who arrived poor at Ellis Island and were earning above average within 2 generations and back near the mean by the 4th. It was for Jewish Americans before that. It happens to almost every selected immigrant group 2 or 3 generations in.
Your grandkids will not be the richest ethnic group in America.
They will just be Americans.
One last data point closes the case.
Same Indians, different countries.
Indian Americans, $151,000.
Indian Brits, near parity with white British households, statistically equal after controls.
Indians in the Gulf, $300 a month as construction workers, drivers, and domestic helps.
Indians in India average per capita income of $2,400 a year.
Same gene pool, same parents pushing for a perfect score in class 12.
Different selection filters at the destination border, different incomes.
The income is the filter, not the heritage. So where does this leave us?
It leaves us with a story that hurts on both sides.
It hurts the white American who uses Indian American success as proof that anyone could make it if they tried harder. They could not. The Indian American is a product of 3 generations of selection, a 1965 immigration law written for someone else, and a colonial English medium school system built for British clerks. None of that is replicable for the laid-off factory worker in Ohio.
And it hurts the Indian American who likes to tell himself the story of his own grit. The grit is real. The grit is also the smallest variable in the equation. The biggest variable is that you got on a vehicle 3 generations in the making.
Both sides are flattering themselves with a story that flatters neither.
This is our show. We have stories of Sundar Pichai, Indra Nooyi, Satya Nadella, Kamal Rekhi.
Those people are extraordinary.
But the show owed itself a footnote. And the footnote is this.
They opened the door.
You earned the room.
But India built the person who could earn the room. And America wrote the law that decided which Indians got to try.
Neither country is the hero, neither country is the villain. Both countries built half of the story.
If you're Indian American listening to this in your house in Dallas, take the win. You earned it. But know what was paid and by whom.
And know that your kids will not have the same income premium. That is fine. They will be more American. That is what was supposed to happen.
We are not American.
We are not immigrants.
But we have done the math.
And the math says nobody stepped into that elevator alone. I'm Vaishali.
And I'm Harsh, and this is the Victory Code Podcast.